Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to another section with Creative Brand Studio. So, in graphic design tutorials for absolute beginners, today I want us to design this. I saw this work here. I want us to design something like this. So, for what we have learned as beginners, I want us to go and do this one. Alright, so let's go to Photoshop and then we start with our work. Now, first of all, we need to set our file. Okay, so we are going to use inches. This is a call card. So the call card, we have this is the length, the width, and then the height. All right, so there's a standard, and that is the width is 3.5, and then the height is what, 2 inches. All right, so this is what we have for our call card. So the first information we will need to provide the name of the person and the work the person does, right? So quickly you go for a text tool and then you put in the name. So I advise you put in your own name. Okay, so let me choose a font that is common to everybody. That's the Arial font. So when I choose Arial, in the Arial family we have all these available to us. So let me pick the Arial bold, and let's use the size 30 and see how it's going to be. All right, you can change it later on. So I have um, creative, all right, studio. Okay, so this large enough. So what I do is I press Ctrl plus T, then click and drag, okay, and get a size of the name. So what work does he do? Say it's a creative designer. Okay, so let me reduce the size. So alright, there is a graphic designer. Alright. Okay, and then we have the contact details. Okay, so what I advise beginners to do is that just put in all the information you need, and then you can now take your time to do the formatting, changing this and changing that and all that. Alright, so that is it. So going to Photoshop. So let me make a creative right as the name. Okay, so the contact we have 02. So let's use maybe 0202456789, just any dummy text there. Okay, Control T, and I have it here. Okay, and because I want to maintain the same text for the other contact were 2, just click and drag to new. So I have another one here for me. Okay, I press T on the T to activate it. You can have 0 to 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so let me add the last one, 7. And this one, let's make it 7 as well. Good, so these are just dummy text here. And then talk about the email address. Okay, I want to show you something about the text too. So we have the email address and the website, they're all dummy text. You can click and drag like we learned in the text tutorial to create a text box so that you can have more of the text you want. Okay, yes, especially when you want to have a control over it, but if you want more control, you can have it each text on its own layer so they can have much more control over it. Okay, so let's say www.com. Okay, and the next item here is what the address. Okay, so you can see that maybe what do you call it, Savannah. Let's say that is his address. And then the next item is we have the logo, the company name, and also a logo for it. All right, so let's see what we can do here. So we have a company name. So the company name is Creative Bright Studio. Okay, and then a logo. What I need next is a QR code. You can go online. Let's search for QR code. QR code. Just for this, just for learning. All right. So let's say QR code sample. Okay, sample. All right. So I have samples of QR code here, just for learning, please. So I click this one. It comes out. Right click. Then you can copy image. The copy image and then Control plus T plus V to paste it inside. All right, I'll show you how to import video, pictures, and other things into Photoshop when we talk about the images. All right, so let's get a logo. Because we are starting fresh, I want us to just use a custom um, shape to represent what we want to do. All right, so because I have my own logo and I can load it, I don't want you to be confused talking about what do I do and all those stuff. This is just a bit. Alright, so let me pick any shape that can represent what we want to do. Alright, so I have this one here. Okay, let's say this is a logo. We have letter C, letter A. Okay, have it like this. Alright, so you realize that I'm just choosing things except the QR code. Everything is in the Photoshop tool. Okay, the Photoshop software. Now let me go for the rounded rectangle and draw my rectangle here. Okay, so you can see there are two of them. One and then the other one. There are two. Okay, so two shapes. When you look at it critically, say, how do I create this one? Yes, I'm going to show you briefly. So we have two. You can just duplicate this, Control plus J to duplicate or drag it there. Very good. So we have our basic information. Now what we are going to do next is to now format it in our own way. All right, so being a call card, our colors are often influenced by what we're going to do. The company logos, the company colors, and all that, they all influence our choice of colors. All right, so I want to make this control. Okay, so you can make it. Let's get standard. Um, so let's say the name should be 15. That's okay. I want to choose a color black. All right. Now I want you to observe something here. There's a reason why I chose this work. You can see that one is bolder than the other, right? So that's how you achieve it. Depends on the font and the work you're doing. So you can just select any of the name, just come. This one has another font character called black. So when I choose that one, and maybe I come here and I choose narrow, yes, or I choose regular. It depends on the font, please. It's not always the story. Okay, so this is what I have. So I have this one and that one. All right, so that is how you vary it. Okay, good. Next, so next is the person's title. We don't want it to interfere with the name, so what we'll do is that let's come to its thumbnail, and then this is 10, the other one is 15. Maybe let's make it 8. Okay, and then it can stay there. All right, so we want to maintain these two colors for this work. You are free to choose the color of your choice. Now remember, if the move tool is there, you can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to nudge the objects. Okay, so you can see I'm using the arrow keys to nudge it and get what I want. Very good. Now when you come to the next item here, we have this rounded rectangle with this icons on it. Okay, so the call icon, the web icon, and also the location icon. So let's see. First of all, let's get a rounded rectangle, and then we draw a rounded rectangle. Now, those who are using the CS5, that's a little challenge. You can't be able to get that kind of circular you want, but for the purpose of learning. Okay, so me, as I rotate this one, I get that circular edge. If you're not able to get it for now, you don't worry. When you're able to understand the Photoshop, I think you're able to get the other versions and make your learning easier. Okay, so I have it this way. Okay, so I pressed Shift and Alt to able to get it done for me here. Okay, now, all right, so I have my contact here. Very good. So I want them all to have one particular size. Right, so let me choose, I think 7 will be fine. Okay, let me stick to my 8. Okay, don't be deceived by the screen. Yeah, because when you go to the real world to print, you realize that what you are seeing on the screen is not equal to what you actually uh, designed. All right, so always bear in mind. That's what the designers we do. You're always conscious of what is happening in the real world, and then you try your best to get it. All right, so this is too long. Let me make it like 7. Okay, and then I have this one is supposed to be here, and also the address. Okay, so for consistency, I'll choose to. This is also 7, but let me make it 6. Yeah, so as a beginner, you should always be careful to maintain consistency. So if you decide that all this one should have this particular font size, you stick to it. Okay, so there'll be that consistency in your work. So that is what separates professionals from beginners. Professionals are always looking at making their work consistent. So if you decide that all your headings should have this particular font size, stick to it, discipline yourself, stick to it, let them have it. Don't be changing sizes anyhow, and that is going to affect your work. And I realized that I have the fonts and the numbers here and also the text, but I realized some are not they are not properly aligned. So what we do, just come to any of those layers. Okay, so when I click on the first number, I press down the control key. I'm able to select the the layers I am interested in. Okay, the layers I am interested in. So the address, the Savannah region, and then also the website. Yes. So after selecting this, you come to the top alignment and then left align. All right. So it quickly aligns it for you. All right. Very good. And also um, you come to the icons here. Let's go to our custom shape and let's see if you can get some icons by default and use them in our work. I don't want you to be struggling looking for something outside what we are doing. Okay, so let me choose color white, then drag and draw this one. All right, so I pick it, but I'm getting the color blue. I don't like that color. No, the color is not clear, so we can just click here, then choose a color that is okay visible for people to see. Okay, so I think the white is, and it's also consistent with the work I'm doing. All right, and then we come to the other one. Let's click and see if you can get something about the word. Very good, bingo. Have that one also here. Okay, so we have it done for us. All right, and then we have location. Let's see if we can get something to represent location. Location. Okay, I think I have something there. I'll rather choose, I'll use this one. All right, just for the start, please, just for the start. Okay, so I have this. Okay, I press Alt and Shift to lock it. Alright, so I press V for the move tool, then I have this as my location. Now we come to the side here, you can see the rounded rectangle going into this one. Okay, how do we do this kind of effect? Alright, so let's say I click this one, I bring on the properties. Please, I want to repeat again, those who are using the CS5, CS6 for this tutorial, um, that's a little limitation here, but don't let it be a limitation. Okay, it's just for the learning. So I create my rounded rectangle, and then let me change the color of this one so that you can see what is happening here. I want to, for consistency, like I said, click and let's pick the color here so that we have some consistency in our colors. All right, so I have this one. So what we do is that we pick the first one, all right, and then let's give it a stroke, a white stroke. Uh-oh. So a white stroke, let me minimize the stroke size. The stroke size. All right, so let me see. So we're changing the stroke size. This is in. This is. All right, so this particular rectangle is sitting on top of it. Okay, I don't want it, I want it to be behind, so I put it under it. Yeah, so that is how I create that effect. Let me drag this one here. Mind you, anything that falls outside this drawing area, the working area, will not show in your print work. Okay, so that is how you can just design a nice one like this. Okay, so we have our logo. We just created it. I have the C here. So these two, I'll press Shift Control plus G to group it, or make sure they are selected. Right click on it and then come to group layers. Just group. Alright, so you can just double click here and change the name to logo. Alright, so and this is not my logo, this is for the purpose of learning. I don't want beginners to be struggling with this. Alright, so I have it here, and then this one will go up. I click OK, I come, then I pick the Creative Brand Studio as the name of the company. So I have it, this one done for me. Okay, so I want to have some consistency. Let me go to the writings. I click and then I have, all right, just for that. Okay, so I click inside. I'm using the color, what do you call it? Able, the color picker is able to pick. So I come here with the text tool selected, please. You can either decide to come here because I already selected the colors. They come here, or you can also decide to click here and then come and pick the color you want. All right, yeah, so I think let me see any special effect here. Yeah, so that is it. These items, let me Control plus T, let me reduce the size a little bit. Okay, I'll make the QR code available in the resource file. All right, but you can as well download it like you saw me do, and then you have it nicely done. Yes, there I'm going to do that one also. So quickly go and pick our line 2, pick our line 2. Okay, you'll click and drag to our line. Okay, so that's the line there. I'm using the arrow keys to move. Then you can press Ctrl J and then use the arrow key to now move it. Alright, if you observe carefully, the line here has you can see some visible white line there. Right, so this is how I will do it. Now So I click on it. Good. So we have this one here. Okay. So I click on this particular line, Control plus G, and then I move it down here. Right. So what you see me do is to have that line white, and then you have the black. So this is the black line, and then the small white lines here. Okay, that is what we do. There are other complex procedures you can still use as well to get that kind of print that you want. Okay, so thank you very much. That's all for today. Have a good day. Bye bye.